Hello, 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 hello. I'm Red, and I'm going to read to you today from r/PettyRevenge. I love these stories. Alright, let's get going. Our first story. PettyRevenge against Petty Shipyard Security. I work in a shipyard. COVID has seen some pretty harsh measures which I actually endorse, since the shipyard attracts workers from all over the world. One of these measures lists the maximum amount of people that can occupy the elevator at once. Only 3 can use the elevator at any given time, but only 1 person if you're transporting materials. Cue the petty fireman. We, me and my co-workers, were going up in the elevator. We had a metal bar with us that does technically constitute as material transport, but the bar is barely 40 millimeters, less than 2 inches, in diameter, and 1.5 meters, about 5 feet, long. Not a problem for creating a COVID risk situation. As soon as we reach our floor of choice, a fireman was standing outside and gave us a write-up for violating COVID safety measures. That basically means that our next offense will result in a temporary ban from the yard. I was very angry and I go into a full-blown petty revenge mode. I grab a size 20 long bolt and carry it with me for the rest of the work, waiting for an opportunity to stick it to the fireman. Just as my shift has ended and I'm waiting for my elevator, the very same fireman queues up behind me. The elevator opens, I enter. The fireman tries to follow. A grin comes onto my face as I stop him and show him the bolt. He looks like an idiot as I tell him, "Material transport, your rules, now get out or I'll report you to your superiors." Best moment of satisfaction ever. Okay, our next story. It all started with sand that smelt like wee. So a few years ago when I was working with children, my journey took me to a centre that was run very interestingly. I could list the things that were interesting, but today I post about the sand in the cubby house. You see, the cubby house was a plastic thing with no base. Being next to a sand pit, the children would cart sand from the sand pit to the cubby, which led to the cubby having a nice thick layer of sand on the floor. Now when I went into this cubby to play, I noticed it smelt like wee. I tried telling the staff, but me being new and clearly not conformed to their lower standard of environment, my feedback was not taken on board. A few even said they couldn't smell anything. It stank of piss, I tell you. I tried to tell the boss, but she wouldn't let me clean out the sand and disinfect the ground. The cubby was on fake grass, so I had to sit and watch the kids play in pee-smelling sand. But I'm not the kind of person to back down in certain things in life, and this wasn't one of them things. So I was scheduled to do the morning check of the yard, which entails a staff member walking and checking for any hazards that may have come into the yard overnight. I checked the cubby with the pea sand. Lo and behold, cat scat. I stormed into my boss's office like I'd just found gold and told her about the health hazard of cat scat. My boss had no choice. It was cat scat. So the cubby was moved, all the sand was thrown away, the fake grass was disinfected as was the cubby. And as I sat there cleaning and throwing away sand, I smiled. Because earlier that morning, in the comfort of my own home, wearing gloves, I raided my kitty litter. Knowing I was on morning yard check, I smuggled 3 pieces of cat scat in a Ziploc bag in my bra and put it on the sand in the cubby. Knowing once found I would be able to get rid of this pea-smelling sand, disinfect the cubby and the ground, and smile at all the staff as they watched me do exactly what I wanted to do. Then the staff had to ensure, moving forward, that the sand was not left to build up in the cubby, so the floor was swept and maintained. And for the remainder of my employment at this centre, every time I was in the yard, I got to watch the kids play in a clean cubby. And every time I saw this, I smiled. And today's last story. touch my station, I'll make sure you never get caffeine again. So I work at a coffee shop 6 mornings a week. My shop is open 7 AM to 12:30 PM, and I leave by 1 PM. Its location is within another business, and it only takes one person to run, so that's usually me until I want a day off. Then the parent shop will let someone work for me. Anyways, I have a few regulars who are employees from the business that surrounds me. One morning, the nice employee from the surrounding business is getting his usual drink and chatting with me as I make it. As we chat, an arrogant employee comes up to the counter. Arrogant employee and nice employee start talking when, as a joke, arrogant employee picks up some jars from my tea display as well as the scoops and pretends he's gonna throw the tea at nice employee. I look over and tell arrogant employee to put it down and chastise him, saying that now I have to toss the tea and re-sanitize the entire station. He throws back the BS argument that he's had 2 COVID tests and I haven't, so he's good, and how does he know I'm not? I tell him that's not the point, but he dismissed me and walks away. Nice employee gets his drink, apologizes for arrogant employee, and goes back to work. After speaking with my manager, I have the power to ban arrogant employee from the shop if I please, but I decided to take a different route. Now, usually arrogant employee will come to my counter and get a large black strong coffee. After the tea incident, every time he comes for coffee, when I feel he's the most tired, I'll give him decaf instead. This is my own secret petty revenge. No caffeine for you! Don't piss off the one who pours your coffee. I don't know how people don't get this. Don't mess with people preparing food or drinks for you. It's never gonna end well for you. I love r/PettyRevenge, one of the most delicious subreddits around. I know you do too, so make sure you like the video. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe, because every day I read something and every day you can be entertained. I really appreciate you watching today and have a good rest of your day. Bye bye.